friends, welcome to your practice. This is going to be about, 20 to 30 minutes, just a mellow move around. So we're gonna find some breath with movements, but it will be very gentle and kind of fluid and embodied. So if there's ever anything that feels better in your body than what I'm cueing, please take that. And as always, feel free to use whatever props you might want. I'm gonna have a bolster nearby just in case. And then it'll be kind of like an ebb and flow style class. So sometimes we'll be moving and standing, sometimes we'll be slowing down and stretching and holding something for a few more breaths. So go ahead and get started standing at the top of your mat, planting down through both feet, feeling a nice even distribution of your weight and kind of an arriving of your body here. Inhale, sweep your arms high, gaze between your fingers. Exhale, hands to heart center. Feel free to close your eyes here, just kind of starting out with a movement meditation. Inhale to circle and sweep your arms up. Gaze can follow. You can add a little back bend at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Keep moving at the pace of your breath, meaning the length of your breath is what dictates the transition to the next movement. Finish up with one more. Inhale, open your arms wide. Find some length through the spine and the sides of the waist. And exhale, hands meet in the center and come to heart. Blink your eyes open if you close them. Good. We're going to take one more as we ground down. So inhale, sweep arms high again. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Let your belly fold over your thighs. Your hands can come to your shins or to the floor or to a bolster. Inhale, halfway left, Ardha Uttanasana, straight spine. And exhale, fold again. This time, ground your knees back. So you're kind of kneeling on your shins. Your toes are tucked for support. And then drive your hips forward. So we're stacking shoulders over, hips over knees. From here, place your hands on your pelvis and just take a few gentle rocks from side to side. And then maybe a few twists side to side. So pressing one shoulder forward and the opposite hip back and then switching out. Just experiment here. Feel maybe dipping into one hip and then the other hip. Does one side feel different than the other? Good. Bring your feet to the left and sit down onto your right hip, coming into a deer pose. So our knees are pointed, our toes are pointed, our ankles are not flexed like we would in a pigeon, but they're at a bigger angle here. Turn your heart over your right knee. Place your hands to frame out your right knee and then take a little cat-cow here. So as you inhale, pull your hands back towards your hips as you thread your heart through. Find a little arc and lift. Exhale, tuck your chin, push the ground away and round through the back body. So it's not going to be a big, huge movement like it normally is in cat-cow. So we're in this deer pose. Inhale to open up in your cow pose. Exhale, tuck, round, and push into a cat variation. Just let it feel good. Notice maybe a bias of hip rotation that we wouldn't normally get in a cat-cow. Especially that internal rotation of the back leg and external rotation of the front leg. But then also notice how normally with a hip opener, we don't get this much spinal movement. So it's just a nice combination. A couple more rounds of breath. Inhale to open up. Exhale, push and round. Good. Swap it out. So now our left leg is our front leg and our right leg is tucked back behind us. Knees are flexed at greater than 90 degrees to make this a little bit more gentle than a pigeon. Frame out your left knee with your hands. And as you inhale, pull your heart out over your left knee. Find an arc and lift of the back of the heart forward. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, push the ground away and round through the back body. 5 or 6 rounds, just move with your own breath. Close your eyes. Explore and let it feel good. Maybe experiment with turning your heart one way or another, just switching up the angle for 2 more breaths. Exhale, let all your air go, push it out. Good, come into hands and knees, tabletop at the front of your mat. And from here, we're going to sink back into a child's pose variation. So walk your hands forward a half step, and we're going to kind of press our hips back to the right. So you feel a stretch through the femur bone on your right hip into your glute. And a nice side stretch through the left body, left side waist. Inhale, come back through center, shoulders over wrists, and exhale, other way. So pressing back to the left diagonally. So we're at this little angle, our knees are still forward, but our hips are to the side. And this time you might feel a nice side stretch through the right side body. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, press your hips back to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. We're going to switch the breath now. So on your next exhale, shift forward into your tabletop, extended tabletop. And then this time, inhale, we press back. Notice if that helps you get a bigger breath into your lungs, into your rib cage. Exhale, forward. Inhale, hips back to the left. Breathe into the right lung, into the right armpit and lat. Good, one more on each side. Exhale, back through center. Take a child's pose, sinking your hips back to your heels and resting kind of on your forearms and your elbows. Let your forehead hang heavy. So it's kind of a child's pose, tabletop variation. Just rest here. Notice what has come up so far in this class in your body with your breath. Can you send air all the way down to the low belly, the low back, the pelvic floor? And check in with your mind, with the thought space, any mental chatter. If you feel distracted, just try to gently come back to the space where you are now. Giving yourself the gift of honoring yourself enough to be in the present for a few minutes. And check in with anything popping up in the heart and the emotional landscape of you. Inviting that in, letting it move through. As you're ready, walk your hands forward, tuck your toes underneath you if they're not already, and then glide your hips back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees as much as you want or need. You can take a little pedal of the feet, so pressing right heel down, bending into left knee, and pressing left heel down, bending into right knee, just back and forth a few times. And as you bend your knees, you're thinking about lengthening through the spine, so kind of flicking your tailbone up towards the sky as you press your hands forward and lengthen through the sides of the arms as well. Take a breath in. Exhale. We're going to turn our toes out and walk our hips back towards a malasana. But when your hands get about a third of the way or 2/3 of the way back, just kind of hang out in this halfway lift, fold, squat shape. So really sinking back into the heels and pulling your spine forward. Inhale here for some length. Exhale, walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, walk it back, toes out, heels in. Sit your hips low, finding some activation here, some stability through the pelvis and the glutes. Inhale, pull your hands back and lengthen your heart forward. And exhale, walk your hands forward to downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out, walk it back one more time. Inhale here. Exhale forward. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower your knees down. Stay grounded through both hands and through your left knee. We're going to extend our right heel back and long. Stay stable through the core and spine, and then swing your right leg to the left side of your left foot. Now we're going to sit our hips back again into this little kind of posterior hip stretch for the left glute. And this time you can walk your hands forward and diagonally out to the right. Pulse through your right calf. So toggling forward and backwards on the ball of the right foot, feeling a nice stretch through the right calf. On your next one, kind of sink back and hold it a couple breaths. How long can you breathe through your left pinky finger all the way down to the left hip crease? Good, move through center and we'll switch it out. Both hands ground, right knee grounds. Straighten your left leg behind you, press through your heel. From here, swing that left foot all the way out to the right and sink back into your right hip as your hands stretch forward to the left. And then take those pulses here into the left calf. Next one, sink back into the right hip and hold here. Feel that side stretch, feel that hip stretch. Big breaths into the rib cage and the belly and the sides of the waist. Come back through center. Tabletop pose. Just a couple simple little shoulder dips here, finding a twist. So drop your right shoulder down towards the center and gaze out over to the left side. Push the ground away, straighten both elbows. And then dip your left shoulder down as you bend your left elbow and look out over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Move with your own breath. You can also create kind of a circular peeling back motion of your shoulder blade as you go through these movements. Give yourself permission to feel a little bit animalistic here, closing your eyes, just kind of moving as your body wants to. Come back through center. Stay grounded through your right hand. Pivot your right foot out to the side like a kickstand. We're going to take a modified side plank over to the left. So we're straightening our left leg long, turning our toes out to the left, pressing our pelvis out to the left. From here, drive your hips forward and stretch your left hand either to the sky or overhead. We're just holding here. You can also drop your right shoulder to your right ear for the addition of a neck stretch. 5 big breaths. Exhale, back through center, switch it out. Left foot kickstands out to the side. Right leg extends long, ground down through your pinky toe. Press your hips forward. And then right arm sweeps up and overhead. Big breaths into the right side body. Feel free to drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Where can you let go and soften where you're holding tension? more inhale. Exhale. Find your pillow or bolster if you have it as you come back through center. Adding a little support underneath your body. We're going to take a embryo pose, so child's pose variation. If you want, you can have the bolster just in front of your knees or on top of your thighs. Rest your head down and stretch your arms long behind you. Letting your shoulder blades soften on the back body. If you don't need the bolster, remove it. Also, another good option is to have a bolster between your calves and your hamstrings. Sitting hips onto the bolster instead of your heels. Whatever works for you, just take a few breaths here. If you'd like to rest here longer, please feel free. We're gonna start to transition into a little bit more movement again, and then we'll slow down again and move again and slow down just a couple more minutes. But again, stay here longer if you'd like. Plant through your hands, lift your body up. Wake back up into the space around you, kind of embracing that feeling of just the ebbs and flows of life. Sometimes we slow down, sometimes we move. It doesn't have to be in one category or another, and we can just roll with it. So come to stand in whatever way is what your body wants to do. Bring your feet out wide. Really find that stability through your legs. Bring your arms up overhead. Hold on to opposite elbows. And from here, we're going to create little circles, or maybe big circles as you get used to the movement, tracing shapes on the ceiling with your elbows. Legs are grounded and steady. Feel free to take this into a big fold, dipping your torso down and circling all the way over the right, up, down to the left. Good, and then switch directions. So starting with small circles in a counterclockwise direction. Just making sure my video is working. Good, keep going, make those circles bigger. Feel free to add the drop down, so over to the right, fold forward in front of you, lift back up to the left. Good, release your arms, shake it out. If you turn to the side of your mat, go ahead and face the front again. Plant your hips down onto the mat and your hands behind you. Fingertips can point towards your hips or out or behind. Press down through your feet, lift your hips up high, reverse tabletop. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, push through your feet. Lift your hips up, reverse tabletop. Maybe it feels good to toggle back and forth, shifting your weight more over your toes and then more over your hands. Lower down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back. One more press, exhale, reverse tabletop. Option to drop your head back and shake your head side to side. And then lower down. Cross your legs, come into a tabletop pose, and from here step your left foot back. So left knee is grounded, right foot is on the outside of your right hand. We're in this low lunge lizard shape. Take a flossing of your hips forward and backwards, so pressing left hip forward, opening your heart, and then exhale. Just a gentle straightening of your left leg, feeling some nice sensation in your right hamstring. I said left leg, I meant right leg. You can stay in this wide-legged lizard pose where your foot's on the outside of your hand. If you'd like, Curl your left heel into your glute. Circle sweep your right arm back and maybe clasp onto the top of the left foot. Twisted lizard lunge. Peel your right shoulder open. Rotate your left rib cage underneath your right as you gaze up to the sky. Big breaths into the front of the hips, the front of the left quad. You can always have a prop underneath your left hand if that helps bring the ground up to you, gives you a little bit more space. 3 more breath cycles. As you exhale, gently release the hold on the back foot if you have it, and we'll switch it out. Stepping left knee forward, left foot forward, right knee back. So left foot on the outside, left hand, low lizard lunge, this wide stance, and then rock back and forth a few times, just opening up the hips. And you can stay here, or you can plant down into your right hand, curl your right heel into your glute, circle sweep your left hand back, and hold on to the top of the right foot. From here, find that twist from the upper spine, the thoracic spine. And still keep the integrity of your breath, so if this feels like too much, bring the ground up to you or let go of the twist. Filling air into your rib cage. Softening through the sides of the waist and the front of the right leg. 2 more breaths. Exhale, gently release down. Good. Come to a Sphinx pose, lowering down onto your forearms and elbows. Step both legs back and extend them really long behind you. So if you want to ground down through your pelvis and then kind of prop up onto your forearms and wiggle your upper body forward more, that might feel some nice traction through the spine. From here, again, pelvis is weighty, legs are weighty, but maybe you find a little lift of the heart forward, rolling shoulders back, threading heart through. Feel free to stay here in stillness or add any neck stretches, ear to shoulder, twisting side to side, dropping your chin down, letting your head kind of hang heavy here. Good. We're going to give the low back a nice rest. Bring your bolster or pillow if you have it underneath your shins. So we're still laying on our bellies. Bolsters underneath our shins. Just flop down, melt down. Release any tension or holding in the low back, in the pelvic floor, in the shoulders, in the jaw. Several breaths here to land, to check in, to see what you need, to see what's coming up. The goal of any yoga class is to treat our bodies with kindness and embodiment, so really truly listening to what we need, and to notice how we speak to ourselves in our heads with our thoughts. How do we approach the poses and the transitions and the challenge and the ease? Can we take this language of getting to know us off the mat as well? And the energetic side, are we letting things move through? Are we holding things stuck? Big breath in. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. And again, option to stay here. If you're really digging the resting poses today, please stay here. Otherwise, we move again to a standing posture at the top of the mat. Whichever way you want to get there. Shift your weight side to side, foot to foot. Step your right foot back. You can angle your toes out a little bit for a nice solid base of support. Both knees are relatively straight. Stretch your arms up to the sky, kind of a reverse triangle or just an upward posture triangle here. And exhale, step your right foot forward, hands to heart center. Switch it out, get some movement going. Step your left foot back. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Ground down through your feet, straighten your legs, lean back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Step your left foot forward. Switch it out, right foot back. Lean back into your triangle. Exhale, forward. Move with your breath. Be present with the quality of a movement meditation, even if it's simple. Let's take one more. From your standing position, again, lower down onto your hips. This time, extend your left leg long. We're in a seated posture. Keep your right foot where it is, planted with the knee pointing up to the sky. Take a twist to the right. Right hand lands behind you. Left hand can come onto your knee or maybe your elbow hooks. As we twist, let's inhale to lengthen up out of our seat. And exhale, find the twist from the upper spine. So right hip is still pressing forward and we're peeling back through our right shoulder. Gaze can follow behind you. Couple breaths. Come back through center, switch it out. Right leg extends, left knee bends, so your foot is planted and your knee is pointing up to the sky. Inhale for a tall spine, left hand behind you. And exhale, find your twist of choice. Two more cycles. Let it feel good. Just a couple more stretches. So close your eyes, feel into your body, see what you need for these last few minutes of class. All right, release that. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees out wide, Baddha Konasana. If you want, you can place pillows underneath your knees to bring the ground up to you. From here, place your hands on your ankles or shins, and as you inhale, we're gonna find a cow spine. So we're gonna arch, lift our heart, drop our head back, and exhale, round into a cow or a cat. Close your eyes, let this feel fluid, let it feel good, just moving through the spine. Doesn't need to look a certain way. Feel out any last kind of corners of your body that need attention. And if you prefer to take circular movements as opposed to cat-cow, that is welcome here. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then use this curling of your spine to lower yourself all the way down onto your back body. Bring your left knee up, plant through your left foot, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Supine pigeon. You can stay here, you can rock side to side. You can think about pressing your right knee down and away to increase any sensation in the right hip, or walk your left foot closer to your body. Lots of options here. We're going for a gentle hip stretch. A nice little back release. And then if you want, you can, as you rock your hips to the left, let your right foot come all the way down to the ground, finding an easy twist. So right hand extends out to the right side, left hand can come onto your right thigh, and then turn your head to the right. Good, switch it out. Left ankle crosses over right leg. Again, experiment with rocking or staying still or moving your right heel closer to your bottom. Whatever you need here. And next time that your body is rocking to the right, let that left sole of the foot plant onto the ground and twist your upper body to the left. Arm extends to the left and right hand is on the left thigh for support. Final inhale. Exhale, let it go. Move through center. Hug your knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your shins, maybe, or behind your thighs. As you inhale, lift your forehead up to your knees. Take a big breath in, fill all the way to the top, and hold once you get there. Exhale, let everything go. Open your body up into shavasana, final resting pose. Heels stretching long to the corners of the mat. Arms can be by your sides with palms facing the sky or hands down on your body somewhere. If there's anything you can do to make yourself more comfortable, do that now, and then find some stillness and rest here. Yourself remain in this presence, in this feeling of intuition and connection with yourself for just a few more moments. Gonna leave us here in shavasana. So stay as long as you can, as long as you need, as long as you want. Thank you for practicing with me, and I will see you next time.